Yo, what's happening everybody? King GBL here and welcome back to a brand new Go Bat-like video. Today we have an amazing submission here by, the name there was Paul Legba I think, but in the submission it was Chris. And I want to say a big thank you to Chris for the long message you left and I very much appreciate all the kind words. This is a triple shiny, yes that's right, a triple shiny anti-meta team featuring Meganium. As you guys have seen from Zionic's channel, he absolutely loves Meganium, and with good reason. It knows Frenzy Plant and Earthquake and can be a real core breaker here. We have Dunsparce, which is hugely popular in European regionals in Pokemon Go competitive. It's a pretty obvious why. It basically breaks the score of Noctowl and Lanturn. Super effective drill runs, and you can basically take switch. And of course the rock slides for the Noctowl. This Pokemon has been super popular recently, and it's not without good reason. And finally we have the non-shadow version of Alolan Ninetales, which of course is a little bit bulkier. I did see someone using that quite recently. I think it was on Rise's channel there. I wonder what the reason is for running that instead of the shadow version. You guys can let me know in the comments. Maybe it's just a little bit better with bulk and stuff like that. And I think in that match against Swampert, for example, you would definitely be able to tank a lot more moves. But thank you very much for this battle submission. Chris here, he makes music on TikTok as well. And I just want to say a big thank you for how you've submitted this battle, because he actually edited everything, clipped it all together so I can just react to it all perfectly without having to do anything. So thank you very much for this. And if you guys want to submit some battles of your own, link in the description down below. And of course, if you do enjoy today's video, hit that subscribe button and drop a like, it's very much appreciated. So first thing I'll say here is I really like how you played this Meganium matchup. You didn't throw your energy straight away, and you allowed your Meganium to get low, which will basically not allow the Noctowl to get a ton of farm, which is great. And those Frenzy Plants really add up. You see the same thing with Venusaur. Of course it knows Sludge Bomb. I think you tapped the wrong side of your screen there, potentially. I'm guessing you have more than one Alolan Ninetales. I've definitely done that same thing myself, forgot what side my move's on. But GG's there, we take out the Noctowl. Maybe that's the reason for the normal one right there, just in case you tap the wrong side. But it does definitely live that Sky Attack a lot better. Very good lead here against Galarian Stunfisk. Of course, Earthquake will be resisted, and you know, your Earthquake will just basically wipe them off the face of the planet. This Bear Trap is a Bear Trap, not a Meganium trap. What even is a Meganium? It looks like some sort of like dinosaur or something, you know, or something that would have been. It's like a Brachiosaurus or something. In comes another very positive matchup with Altarium. We're gonna just load up the back-to-back here. If the opponent shields, they'll have to shield twice. They do let it go, and we have a move loaded for Galarian Stunfisk. Of course, this is a negative matchup, but these Weller Balls do add up after over some time, and especially with the regular version of Ninetales, you will be able to tank these rock slides a lot easier. With the Shadow, it does not appreciate rock slides whatsoever. We'll actually see how much damage this is going to do. This is the Earthquake, nice, okay, that's interesting from the opponent. Would it double rock slide not have been better there? I think it would have been. Just in case, you know, they did decide to shield as well. And in comes a Dragonite. In comes a Dragonite, and I would say Dunsparce is probably going to come in here. Just start rollouting this thing down. That's something you don't hear every day. Rollout is such a weak move in terms of damage. They can easily tank that Dragon Claw. At this point, you probably could just go for the rollout down, but I guess getting the shields is absolutely fine here. Yeah, okay, you've got two Frenzies banked on this, makes sense. That makes perfect sense. They're going to shield the first one. They're going to probably die to this because this Shadow Dragonite is super glassy. Even the resisted Frenzy Plant will take it out. And a pretty cool costume here as well. So far really enjoying this submission, and I think this team could actually work really well. We're just seeing a ton of Lanturns. You're seeing it in the lead here. We're seeing a ton of Noctowls, and this team is like the biggest core breaker possible. As you can see, in comes N9 as well. This is the Shadow version. You don't have to shield here, but that does a decent amount of damage. Throwing after one here on the rock slide. The opponent does go for a shield. 1, 2. Okay. So you get that rollout through there. The opponent is going to Weller Ball, and yeah. Okay. So yeah, I guess you could have thrown after one just to avoid the. Was that a CMP right there? Okay, maybe not. So yeah, in comes another rock slide. This should, yeah, just about doesn't take out, but in comes the Lanturn, and this is not an answer. I like how you store the energy there as well, which is perfect. Because Meganium just walls this thing. Yeah, these Wonderbolts are tickling at this point. Going for the Frenzy, I don't think this will quite take it out. Okay, it actually does. I know that, yeah, wow, that done a lot actually. Frenzy, I guess, is Meganium like a bit more attack weighted than like a Venusaur? I know like it tanks a Seed Bomb from Trevenant pretty well. Lanturn, I guess Meganium with the Frenzy Plant just does a rip of damage. So this is pretty straightforward here. Okay, we're actually going to come in with Dunsparce here. So you could have came in with either. This is the beautiful thing about this team, it just works so well against this Noctowl core. Yeah, you can even go for the overfarm, I really like this here. At this point you can... Okay, in comes the Shadow Ball. Yeah, so we're just going to get off this move. The opponent will have to commit to a Gleam here, so there's no way the opponent's going to win it. Yeah, so GG's. I really like this team actually. I think this team is really viable. I'm trying to think what would be like a real core breaker to it. Maybe some counter users would be a little bit tough. If you got like a double counter team, maybe. This Swampert staying in here. What is in the back? It's Noctowl. So in comes Dunsparce right here. So this is working fine. You can definitely eat a Sky Attack here, no problem. You can probably eat 2. 1, 2. Just with the timing, you should try to throw after 1 or 3. Just throw in odd numbers if possible with the free turn move. In comes the Sky Attack here. Yep, we're going to get a shield and throw straight away right there. Again, you can just throw after 1. You know, you could probably have like an extra Rock Slide of energy coming through. But we'll probably... Yeah, so this is going to work out fine. But yeah, you probably, like, you know, with that stage, you probably could have had like 1 more Rock Slide. You definitely would have had a little bit more energy there, so that just shows the importance of it. The opponents, they're shielding this like crazy. And you're going in for the snipe of the Frenzy Plant. This is a hilarious snipe right here. I like this, actually. You could have came in with Ninetales, but in comes Pidgeot, so they're running the double flyer team. So this is exactly what this team's built for. Swampert double flyer. Of course, it was made popular by Junkus. And I've like adapted it in my own way with Altaria. I do prefer Altaria with that. They go for that. Feather Dance. This Frenzy won't do too much. But, you know, the thing with Pidgeot and why I switched it out to Altaria personally is Pidgeot's a little bit glassy. In comes Swampert. Can you outpace to the Hydro? The opponent will get off a Hydro, but they're in Weller Ball range here. You could go for like a little overfarm here, but this is absolutely fine. The opponent will be forced to dump energy, and I think you do have energy left on Dunsparce anyway. Yeah, so the opponent has to throw here. They either get farmed down or okay, the Feather Dance. Yeah, so that's where honestly I do prefer Altaria. Like, Feather Dance is nice to get the debuff, but in my personal opinion, like, Pidgeot's more of a sim warrior. It's really just dependent on shields, and, you know, like, if the opponent's low, you don't want to go for a Brave Bird, right? Again, another good lead here. You don't want to go for a Brave Bird if the opponent's low. So, like, you're sort of forced to go for the Feather Dance, which, you know, of course, it's nice for the debuff, you know, if you're on the last Pokemon or something, but yeah, that's kind of why I don't like Pidgeot too much. It's an amazing Pokemon, but it definitely has some very big weaknesses there. The opponent's going for a double Rock Slide. Okay, we're going for a shield here. Returning the shield from the opponent. We are going for an Earthquake. Let's see if the opponent shields it. They do respect it, wow. Frenzy Plants do a lot of damage to this thing as well. So if it was me, I would probably just go straight Frenzy. In comes the Earthquake. Okay, interesting. The opponent free off that. Again, they maybe could have went for 2 Rock Slides. Yeah, as you can see, that Frenzy just does a lot of damage. I think probably just going straight Frenzy on this thing is probably a little bit better for like energy as well. You possibly can get a rollout down here. Can you get a rollout down? Rollout is so hard to farm down with. It is just such a weak move, but you're easily tanking these moves, so you can definitely at least get an overfarm. Shiny little Dunsparce. You don't see too many of these as well. We're going to take this out, and in comes Altaria. This is perfect. It's going to take them 15 turns to get to the Sky Attack, and you'll easily get to 2 Rock Slides here to take it out. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, the opponent just about does reach the move. But again, you can just come in and farm it down with Ninetales, or you could maybe even consider, like, at that point they've dumped all their energy, come in and get the farm down and see what's in back. Yeah, so we're doing it at this point. In comes Lanturn, so you will need to go for the Dazzling Gleam here, and at that point you should be able to you'll be able to eat these moves off Lanturn a little bit better here. Yeah, so it would take about 2 Gleams to take out. The opponent is throwing here, which is perfect. I believe you're 1 rollout off another move here. Okay, maybe you're actually getting to the 2nd Gleam here. So this could be like where normal non-Shadow Ninetales is better. Okay, so we're actually a couple of rollouts off. Oh, that's so close. I think you could have maybe flipped that match with, you know, just slightly better move timing there. But overall, really well played, and well played to the opponent as well. And first set here, we've got a nice little 4-1 and a little Scraggy to add to the collection. Overall, I'm actually quite a fan of this team. I think it works really well. I haven't actually checked the IVs yet, so it'll be interesting to see what the IVs are with Dunsparce. But good games here, and we're going to hop into the next one. So next game we have Meganium into Trevenant. Okay, so I would say this is negative for Meganium here. You might want to, yeah, safe switch into Dunsparce. I quite like this. Of course, your hard answer is the Ninetales. The Shadow Claws are resisted, and of course they can go for Seed Bombs, which Seed Bomb is not a very strong move. It's only strong because it's coming from Trevenant. In comes the Seed Bomb, and yeah, as you can see, like, it does an okay amount of damage there, but in general it's not too threatening. Now the opponent's staying in here, which is very interesting, so you might even consider shielding this. I guess no shielding is fine because you know that you have an A9 in the back, so if they've got some sort of flyers in the back, you maybe just could go in. Yeah, okay, that's fine. You can go for the Rock Slide, see if they want to commit the last shield. And I think the A9's looking very good here. And the opponent just double shield the Trevenant, and they come in with Stunfisk, and nice, we do get off the drill run here as well. This is perfect. You can just come in with Meganium and just start going in with this thing. You know, Frenzy Plant would do a lot of damage to Trevenant as well, and these Rock Slides are not going to do too much. It isn't about Frenzy Plant range here. Yep, nice little overfarm as well, and this should just about take this out. We'll see if the Trevenant comes back in. Oh, it's a Walrein. Walrein, you're not going to appreciate this Frenzy Plant, my boy. You're not going to appreciate this. This should almost wipe it out. It does yeah, it's a shadow. Of course it does. And the opponent sees the writing on the wall. Ninetales doesn't even have to see any action here. They're just chilling in the back. Yeah. Ninetales is just chilling in the back here. You love to see it. Another negative lead here. We're probably going to go into Dunsparce again. Yep, I like this. So you're getting to see here, you know, what you're doing against the negative leads as well. And in comes the Galarian Stunfisk. This is not an answer to Dunsparce. Unless you have a counter user in the back. Yeah, so like 2 drill runs is almost going to take this out. The opponent most likely will shield this here. Yeah, they do. And hopefully with a couple of rollouts of damage, you can just about take this thing out. You can easily eat the Rock Slide, and this thing is just going to either take out the Stunfisk or get you 1 or 2 shields here, which is absolutely perfect. Ninetales and Meganium up shields are just absolutely deadly. You could make a play for switch here, but you could maybe come in and get a farm down. Either of these is absolutely fine. Yeah, rollout's not going to do it for the farm down. So we're taking switch here, which could be vital. The opponent shields it up as well. I would maybe just let this go, honestly, and come in and farm down. I guess either of these is fine. The opponent comes in with Lanturn, so that perfectly makes sense. If the opponent, like, they can't aggro swap, especially after double shielding there, like, they have to try and at least take switch. Yeah, so in comes this. We're farming up probably to the back-to-back frenzies. This is going to put a nice little chip in. Of course, it'll take out the Lanturn. We're up to the back-to-back frenzy plants. You know, I'm actually really tempted to build a Meganium. I've got like a rank 150 or so. I actually might even have a shadow. So yeah, Altaria comes in. They're forced to, well, they're not really forced to dump their energy, but they do so, which is great. And this just leaves Alolan Ninetales just feasting in the back. In comes the, okay, nice. You get the rollout down. You love to see that. And the opponent top left. GG's. GG's. So we do get a rollout down. Yeah, I'm really liking how the energy is with this team. You do get a ton of Lanturn leads. I've been running Lanturn lead recently myself. And in comes Bastiodon. Yeah, so I guess Dunsparce is your best answer for this, isn't it? With these drill runs. Like, this is just core breaking. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, it's double weak to the drill runs. You love to see it. You don't even have to shield this. Yeah, it's just a Stone Age. Is this like a fully XL Basti? That's done a decent amount of damage there. We're going to go for another one. We'll see what the opponent wants to do. The opponent can't shield this. Yeah, they have no way to shield that. And in comes Lanturn. This opponent is just completely core broken by Dunsparce. This thing is amazing. They do go for a shield, which, you know, knowing that there's a Meganium in the back, you can't really shield it, in my personal opinion. They surf it out of here. In comes Meganium, in comes Medicham, and this is an easy win for Ninetales here, even in the 2 shield. Ninetales will take this. The opponent will be forced to go for Psychics. Yep, there's Psychic number 1, and as soon as you shield that Psychic, it's just over. You're going for the Dazzling Gleam here. The opponent might just let this go. Yeah, they just let it go. They really just can't shield it at that point. And yeah, they see the writing on the wall. I like going for the hard hitting move. You know, it's sometimes tempting to bait there. The opponent's win condition is really just to call a bait. So nice awareness right there. We'll probably go into Dunsparce here again. Yep. So you know, we're getting some negative leads and we're winning the matches. I think the first set, you know, it was mostly positive, but in this set here we're seeing a couple of negative leads, and we're seeing like how this team can flip things around, which is quite nice. About 2 Rock Slides and rollouts will take this thing out. So looking pretty good here for Dunsparce. The opponent will be forced to shield, and again, there must be just core broken by this thing because they're not swapping out, which would make you think that your Ninetales is probably good here. Dunsparce, of course, it core breaks the Flyers and Lanturn, and of course Ninetales has a very good match against the Flyers. Meganium's good against the Lanturn, so I think this is looking very positive. You sort of have to pick up these tells from the opponent sometimes if they're staying in. Yeah, they're double shielding this thing. They do not want it, but they're going to get another Rock Slide. You can shield this and take Switch if you want to, but I think you just let it go. I mean, this is fine as well. You're taking Switch, which could be vital here actually, because let's say if they have like a Noctowl and Lanturn in the back, you're going to get a perfect alignment. Yeah, so in comes Noctowl. I'm predicting a Lanturn in the back here. Let's see what the opponent has. Yep, there's a Lanturn. Yep, there we go. Yeah, so it was actually a very good taking Switch right there, because having the wrong alignment on these two would be a bit of an issue. Of course, you can go for like 2 Gleams and take out the Lanturn and maybe like do something, but yeah, I think you made the correct play there by taking Switch. I think with this team, you do want to take Switch where possible. The opponent lets the Frenzy go, and yeah, we're just going to start firing off Frenzy plants. There's not a whole lot the opponent can do. The opponent's well into Walla Ball range here, and they're going to need like, well, like would 2 Sky Attacks even take out a normal Ninetales? It's getting into even farm down range at this point. The opponent's trying to overfarm, but Meganium with these Frenzies just does a ton of damage. It's not going to matter here. We've almost got the Walla Ball loaded. And the triple shiny team, like that's one of the hardest cores to beat in this game. Noctowl and Lanturn. And it's just getting absolutely wrecked by this team. So I would say like this is one of the best anti-meta teams you can get out here. The opponent has to swap out here, but they are staying in for a minute. Maybe going to try and catch the Frenzy. Yep, they try to catch. But you know, catching a Frenzy on Stunfisk isn't it either. You know, like 2 of these will get this extremely low. The first one's going to go through here. Yeah, you would take it out with 2. You know, 2 plus Vine Whips would take this thing out. You can eat any one move here. Again, we're just absolutely core breaking this team with with this Meganium. These Pokemons are just pure core breakers. As long as you don't, like, even if you do get the Noctowl lead as well, you can go into Dunsparce, you know, so like, yeah, so you've got 2 answers for this in the back, so you just go straight out. Love this play right here. No point, you know, staying in and fighting for Switch there. Whenever you've got 2 answers in the back, you can just swap out. So in comes Walla Ball number 1, they'll most likely shield it. And yeah, we're just going to start spamming these off. You probably could just, you know, try to get all shields down with this, and at that point, you're going to take Switch, and you're going to have a Meganium and a Dunsparce in the back. The opponent is trying to go for a farm down here by the looks of things, but that's not really going to work out for them, I don't think. They might, yeah, so they're throwing a move here. At this point, there's no point the opponent throwing a move. You do let this go, which is perfect as well. You've got 2 shields on Dunsparce, and in comes Lanturn. They can throw anything here, you can just tank it. Are we going to go for the 2 shield flex? I think we're going for the 2 shield flex right here. Yep, ladies and gents. We're going for the Earthquake as well. We're going for the Earthquake as well. You love to see it. You love to see it. GG's Lanturn. GG's. We get the 2 shield flex, and again, we're just absolutely destroying meta teams. Was that a nice little 5-0 right there? Absolutely going to town. Guys, I would actually recommend trying this team out. I might try this out tomorrow. I had a pretty rough day myself. I was running the Lanturn lead with double Ghosts in the back. Just kept getting hit by Umbreons and things, and Obstagoons. I went 4-1 at the start of the day, and I had a lot of extremely negative sets. I think I dropped about 170 or 150 elo today, something like that. So I may try out this anti-meta team tomorrow. Thank you everybody for watching. Hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. And make sure you guys check out Chris's TikTok and subscribe and hit that like button. Thank you very much everybody, and I'll catch you all in the next one.